Hey, g'day guys. It's Thursday morning. It's time just before 7. Hey, I don't know about you guys, but the more time I spend sitting in a desk chair, and there's been a fair bit of that the last couple of days, sort of the tighter and less mobile my hips and back get. So I'm just going to show you a little sort of hip mobilisation thing that I've been trying out. The first thing you want to try and do is just get yourself right in the bottom of a squat position. Now, it doesn't matter if you start up on your toes, but obviously, ideally, we want to try and move our heels back onto the ground. And we also want to try and get to a situation where our toes are pretty much facing forwards. So, hands on the ground, just rocking back and forth. This will feel, or feels for me anyway at the moment, like really uncomfortable. Some people might be right, you might be going, yeah, I'm sweet with this. But really sort of trying to get yourself settled, back, forward, moving to the side, just sort of moving around a bit and getting as much movement through your sort of hips and through your joints, getting them to go from side to side, changing your weight distribution, moving around a little bit, just sort of starting to feel a little bit better. I generally try and spend about a minute, 90 seconds in that position and before we move on. The second part to move to is we're going to try to extend one of our legs all the way out. So I'll try that with my right leg, keeping that left foot nice and straight. Right leg goes out. Again, you can see I've got a fair bit of weight on my hands at the moment. Leaning forward, rocking back, supporting myself, pulling that toe back, down, moving my foot from side to side, really working through that joint, and so on and so forth. Keep it continuing to roll that. Understanding that there's going to be moments where I'm a bit uncomfortable, but that's okay. Just really sort of flexing out, pulling that leg in, changing across onto the other side. Oh, that really hurts. Goodness gracious. Really got a fair bit of pain coming through my knees at the moment as well, so takes a bit of a moment to settle. There we go, a little bit better. Still battling to get my heel down. That right hip capsule is very tight, left hamstring incredibly tight. Oh, not the day for it really, is it? You know those days where you just sort of wake up and you're like, I can't move at all, I really don't feel up to it. A couple of minutes in the morning, just moving around really does help. So again, from that position there, I'm going to try and move into a forward position. Notice I've got my knee on the ground here, you might not be able to quite see that. Got my knee on the ground here. Hands down, sort of going from side to side at the top. Really moving that hip joint, stretching out that hamstring. Try and get your elbows down if you're really good. Moving that foot off the ground, back and forth through it. Side to side and back and forth. Just continual movement, continually make yourself sort of continually transfer that weight, moving yourself through that joint, really giving yourself a bit of a moment. If it gets too sort of sticky and it really feels tight and uncomfortable, that's not where you want to be, so just stop there. But otherwise, you know, it's okay to sort of feel a little bit of tension. But again, we're not trying to break anything here, we're just trying to loosen ourselves up. From there as well, obviously, really rock back here. Get that hamstring up. You can add tension by pulling that toe back. You can also pull your hands down, rock forward, rock back. As I move that chin to my chest, that'll add a little bit of nerve strain through my lower back. Will sort of help release that nerve pathway, I should say. That feels pretty gross. I guess the point is that if you're doing a lot of sitting, maybe you've been driving all day or whatever, generally you'll be a bit tight that night, but the next day when you wake up, that's when you'll be battling and you'll be like, oh, I want to go and train, I want to go and do something, but I'm so tight, I'm so sore. And what sort of helps is getting the day off to a good start and moving straight away, you know. So again, I know I've put that little yoga thing up with the cobras, downward dogs, cat cows, all child's pose, and that's great if you're doing that, but sometimes that's not quite enough to get into your hips. So And this for me I found has been, you know, really good over the last couple of months. Goodness, I'm not supposed to start with that, am I? I'm supposed to start here. I know where I am. Again, side to side. Sometimes this takes 5 minutes, sometimes it takes 2 minutes, sometimes it takes 10 minutes. You know, it takes how long it takes. Don't need to rush yourself through it, but again, you know, obviously if you've only got a couple of minutes in the morning, that feels a bit better. I can get that left elbow down now. Always go the other side as well. Moving your hands all the way over this way gives you a different stress. All these sort of positions that you can move yourself into, just sort of going through a range of motion in these positions really does help, feel good. Again, rocking forward and back, side to side. Just moving, 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 moving. Again, obviously I finish off that left leg, sorry, my front leg forward, my right leg here. Dropping my hands down, pulling that toe back, head down to my chin, head down to my chin. Moving, moving, rocking sideways, moving that foot forward and back, coming around to this side. Hopefully you guys sort of get the idea. Trying to open up those hips a little bit really does help first thing in the morning if you're feeling sort of tight. And anything that you do in the morning will sort of set you up for a great day. Anyway, that's it. Good luck. See yous.